If you guys are still playing FC24 and you want some cheap coins, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you do use my code REMA, it will give you a lovely 5% discount off your order. So, what's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video guys, I'm going to be showing you my rank 1 custom tactics that I used in FUT Champions, the main weekend league. As you can see here, we went 19-1, and also the qualies in which we went 10-0. I know it's August, but a lot of people still care about results and only want tactics off those that, you know, get good results or a high rank, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to show you guys I can still do it when I want to, and yeah, I'll be showing you the tactics that we used. 4-3-2-1 is pretty standard, of course, but we were using a variety of players. Just a quick note, actually, before we get into the tactics. I have to say, I think this 98 Dino is terrible. I'm sorry, I really don't like him. In fact, I much prefer that Footy's Fatty, but, you know, everybody has different opinions. This Janola's crazy. Not much for Diani. I love Oberdorf. I've just used loads of different players. Like, I like this Carlos Alberto. Maybe he's not on the level of Carvajal or Walker, which I've also tried, but, you know, pretty decent. But Fatty and Ginola are two incredible cards from what I've tested out over the past few days. And yeah, with all that aside guys, let's get right into the video. I hope you enjoy. Okay then guys, so starting off with the tactics, pretty standard, but I'll run through them for you guys. This game's very linear, very one-dimensional, so a lot of the things you see aren't too dissimilar to what you see in other videos, but that's just how FC is. So for the defensive style, I always opt to have this on balance, as I feel like it gives you the best control when you're defending. When you want to press your opponent, for example, you do that, and then when you want to drop off and be more passive, you can also do that. So I think balance gives you the best variety and the best ability when you are defending, but each to their own, of course. For the defensive width, bit of a random number, but I've been using 27, and it's been really, really good. It completely congests that middle area of the pitch, makes it very narrow and compact, so it's very difficult for an opponent to play through the middle of you. You would also think, because it's such a low narrow number, that you would struggle out wide, but it's actually not the case at all. Depending on the players you have, you can get out to them very quickly, and it's not too much of a issue. So this width has been really good for me, but if you want to change that, then go right ahead. Now, moving on to the depth, guys. I was never always the biggest advocate of 100 depth, but, you know, with all these really high-end cards, it just makes the game so easy. So if you're looking for the most meta tactics, this is 100% it, 100 depth. The reason it's so good is because it gives you a really high defensive line, and the AI basically presses every player and congests that middle area. And if you have all these high-rated players and the best meta players with all the good play styles and things like that, it just becomes extremely automatic and very easy. So 100 depth has been insane, but if you want to lower this to like 65 or something, then that is also fine. Now for the build-up play, guys, I recommend balanced, as I find it to be the most controlled and the most fluid way to build up. When you use balance, guys, you can basically pick and choose between multiple styles of build-up. So if you want to play slow, for example, you can, and if you want to play fast, you can, or if you want to ping a long ball, you can. You can basically do a bit of everything whenever you want to. So I think balance is the best, has the most reliable AI, so that is what I would go with personally. For the chance creation, guys, direct passing is an absolute must in FC24. Thank the Lord this is removed in FC25. But the reason it's so necessary is because FC24 is very park the bus heavy. It's very defensive AI based as well. So direct passing is one of the only reliable ways to break through this, because your attackers like make these runs, and then defenders follow your attackers making the run, and then your attacker does like a track back movement. So it's like they push forward and then track back to create space, so then you can cut back and stuff like that. So a very boring tactic, I'll give you that, but very necessary in this game. Now for the attacking width, you can pretty much use what you want. All you really need to know is the lower the attacking width, the more narrow your attack, and then the higher the attacking width, the wider your attack. So make of that what you will. I go for something more on the narrow side, which is really good for me, but you guys might want to change that. For the players in the box, we have this on 6. This is so we can get quite a few players into that penalty area without completely over-committing. But if you guys want to lower this or even up it, then that is completely up to you. For the corners and the free kicks, I have them both on 2. And again, you can completely do what you want with that. Not like a necessity to have it on 2. Now for these player instructions, guys, again, these are pretty standard. I'll be completely straight with you. So for the striker, we have them on stay central and getting behind. Stay central as it keeps them in that middle area. We don't need them drifting out into the wider positions, and having them on stay central makes them that focal point for you so that they can be relied upon. Getting behind is also very important as it forces the player to make those runs. If you have them on mixed attack and your opponent is using some sort of pressure tactic, it can become quite an issue because basically it breaks your attacking AI if they're on mixed attack. So getting behind just forces those runs at all times, regardless of whether your opponent is pressing. Now for this left forward, we have the exact same instructions. Stay central keeps them in that really awkward narrow channel, which is like in between the fullback and the centre back, which makes it extremely difficult to mark. And you know, you get really good movement there. So I think if you have them on balance width or drift wide, it can feel a bit more like a 4-3-3 at times. So yeah, stay central getting behind on this player as well. Now for this right forward, we just have them on getting behind and come back on defence. Now the reason we have them on get in behind is because obviously you still want to make those runs, and then come back on defence is very important as it makes it defend in a 4-4-2 shape. So why is this so good? Well, the 4-4-2 is one of the best defensive shapes you can have. The reason it's so good is because you have that back four, which is that solid line where you've got the two centre-backs covering the middle and the two full-backs covering the wings, and then you also will have that in the midfield as well with those two centre-mids covering the middle area, and then those like the right mid and the left mid covering the wider area. So on comeback on defence, this right forward comes back to defend as a right midfielder in the 4-4-2 shape, making you nice and defensively sound. Now for this right centre mid, I use more of a box-to-box style player in Modric, somebody that can attack and defend, do a bit of everything. So on this player, what I've been using is balanced attack, get into the box across and cover centre. Balanced attack because we want them to attack and defend. We don't want them to just be restricted to defending. I've also loved having them on get into the box across as it does mean they commit into the penalty area and make these really awesome runs. This might be a bit much for some people, but I've been loving having this on. So yeah, I'll keep that on. And then obviously cover centre so that they will defend as one of those middle centre mids in that 4-4-2 shape. Now, for this middle centre mid, we have them on stay back and cover centre. This is because it's the more defensive minded midfielder. It's very important to have that balance, by the way. You always want to have at least one box to box and one defensive player. So this person's just going to stay back, break up the play and be that anchor. So we have them on stay back and cover centre so that we can do that. Now for this left centre mid, because I said it defends in a 4-4-2, we can actually use an attacker here because on the cover wing instruction, they're going to defend as a left midfielder instead of a left centre mid. So you can actually use an attacker here and then commit them forward with get forward and get into the box across, which is what I've been doing with this Saka here. It's obviously an added bonus if you can get a player with good defensive stats like this Saka. Actually has 85 defending, but it's not all that important. So just go for a player that can kind of do everything but is still a really attacking player in this position. Now for the fullbacks, whichever one's your most attacking one or whichever one you want to send forward, I love attacking down the right, so I send Carlos Alberto forward. So we pop them on balanced overlap. This is because the 4-3-2-1 by itself is quite a narrow formation, so you need this fullback to give you that width and to stretch out the opposition defence. This is really, really underrated and a lot of people still don't use this. For the other fullback, the more defensive one, we have them on stay back and overlap. This so we always have at least 3 defenders back at a time. But when we send them on that run forward, they'll make that overlapping run, just like the other fullback, to give you that width. For the 2 centre-backs, we leave them alone, and the goalkeeper, we also leave them alone. But yeah, guys, they are my tactics and instructions for the 4-3-2-1. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please be sure to drop it a thumbs up, as I do really appreciate it. Sub to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. And yeah, with all that aside, guys, hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, guys, and take care.